Keanu Reeves is not your average Hollywood star. He doesn't chase the spotlight. He doesn't flood social media with selfies or seek attention at every turn. Yet, somehow, his silence speaks volumes. In an industry where words often overpower authenticity, Keanu Reeves carved a path through quiet strength, resilience, and integrity. This is the story of a man who rose from pain, endured unspeakable losses, remained grounded, and became one of the most respected and beloved actors in the world. Not because he shouted the loudest, but because he never stopped moving forward. This is the journey of how Keanu Reeves let his actions speak louder than words. Keanu's early life was anything but easy. Born in Beirut, Lebanon, in 1964, to a British mother and a Hawaiian-American father, Keanu's childhood was marked by instability. His father left the family when Keanu was only 3 years old. From that point on, his life became a string of moves, from Lebanon to Australia, then to New York, and finally to Toronto. At every step, Keanu had to adapt, restart, and rebuild. He struggled in school, not because he wasn't smart, but because he was dyslexic. Learning was slow and frustrating, and formal education never felt like home. He dropped out of high school, not because he didn't care, but because the system wasn't built for someone like him. But even then, something inside Keanu kept pushing him forward. A quiet belief that he could find his path. He turned to acting, starting with theater and small TV roles. It wasn't fame he was after, it was freedom, the ability to express, to connect, and to create. He soon landed a role in the cult classic River's Edge, and from there, his career began to build momentum. In 1989, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure made him a household name. Suddenly, the world knew Keanu Reeves. But they didn't really know him. Not yet. As his star rose in the 1990s with films like Point Break, Speed, and later The Matrix, Keanu became an action hero, a leading man, and a symbol of cool. But what the world didn't see was the deep personal pain he was carrying. In 1993, his best friend, River Phoenix, died of a drug overdose. River was more than a co-star. He was a soul brother. His death shook Keanu to the core. But he didn't make public statements. He didn't cry on talk shows. Instead, he grieved quietly, letting the pain shape his soul. Then, in 1999, just as The Matrix was exploding worldwide, tragedy struck again. Keanu's girlfriend, Jennifer Syme, gave birth to a stillborn daughter. The loss devastated both of them. A year and a half later, Jennifer died in a car crash. Within 2 years, Keanu had lost his daughter and the woman he loved. These were wounds that don't heal with time. They transform you. Most people would break under the weight of such grief. Many would give up, disappear, or drown in their sorrow. But Keanu didn't. He continued working quietly, respectfully, professionally. He didn't use his pain as a way to gain sympathy or headlines. Instead, he lived his truth, with humility, grace, and silent strength. In interviews, he rarely talks about these tragedies. When asked about loss, he simply says, "Grief doesn't end. It changes shape, but it never ends." And in that one sentence, he reveals the depth of his understanding, not just of pain, but of life. He shows that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means continuing to walk, even with broken pieces inside you. Keanu's humility became legendary. Despite making millions from the Matrix franchise, he gave away a huge portion of his earnings to the special effects and costume teams, saying they deserved it just as much as he did. He's been spotted riding the subway, giving up his seat to others, walking alone with a backpack, and helping strangers without expecting anything in return. He lives in a modest home, drives simple vehicles, and keeps his circle small. He never married. He never chased tabloids. He never let fame define him. And that's why he became so loved. Not because he sought attention, but because he stayed real in a world full of noise. His silence became his signature, his kindness, his character. Keanu Reeves taught us that being a good person doesn't require a microphone, that you don't have to announce your pain to validate it, that you can live with tragedy and still choose peace, that you can be a superstar and still be soft-spoken, that your story doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Even in his roles, Keanu often plays characters who are broken yet brave. Think of Neo in The Matrix, lost, unsure, but willing to believe. Think of John Wick, a man who has lost everything but still stands tall. These roles mirror parts of his own journey. They resonate because there's truth behind them. Keanu doesn't just act, he lives those roles. Not theatrically, but soulfully. What makes Keanu's journey so inspiring isn't it just the success, it is the silence in which he built it. The quiet discipline, the refusal to let pain turn into bitterness, the choice to keep giving even after he lost so much, and the courage to stay humble in a world that constantly tells you to be louder, flashier, and more self-promoting. His life is proof that sometimes actions really do speak louder than words, that the quiet ones often carry the deepest wisdom, that you don't have to shout to shine, that being kind, being grounded, and being real never goes out of style. When fans started noticing his kind gestures, they began calling him the internet's boyfriend, a title he never asked for and probably doesn't even care about. But what it shows is this: people are hungry for realness, for humility, for depth, and Keanu Reeves gave them all of that, not through speeches, not through controversies, but through how he lived. So what can we learn from Keanu's journey? First, that silence is powerful. You don't always need to respond, react, or explain. Sometimes your calm is your superpower. Second, that pain is not the end. It's a chapter, not the whole story. If Keanu can keep walking after losing the people he loved most, then so can we. Third, that humility builds legacy. Arrogance fades, fame fades, but kindness, that lasts forever. Fourth, that you can rise without noise. You can build a meaningful life without shouting. Just keep doing your work. Keep showing up. Keep being good when no one's watching. And finally, that success is not just about what you earn. It is about who you become while you re-earning it. Keanu Reeves didn't become a legend by trying to be one. He became a legend because he lived a life of purpose, of pain turned into compassion, of stardom worn like a whisper. His story is a reminder to all of us that even if life knocks you down, even if your heart is broken, even if you feel invisible, you still have power, you still have worth, and you still have a voice, even if it speaks in silence. So the next time life pushes you down, remember Keanu. Remember his story. Remember that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just keeps walking, quietly, faithfully, forward. From silence to stardom, that's not just Keanu's path. It can be yours too.